Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel and the allotment. My name's Mal, better known as the Veg Plot Man, and hopefully today, even though we're in sort of like the second week of October, there's still quite a few things to harvest. So today I'm going to risk the old back. I've done a little bit of stretching and all that, bending and all that. And I'm going to risk just taking these 4 potatoes, the 4 that are remaining in this row here, so that we can take them home for dinner. Also, I'm going to harvest the cabbage and start and get those leeks sorted out as well, as I mentioned last week. So, without further ado, I think it was about 2.5 weeks ago I was here, and we'll go again. But I'm really going to take it easy. I got to about here last time and away it went. So really going to not... That don't look like a promising start. I might need to just move this. Try and keep my back straight. Right, let's go here then. See how many I can puncture with the fork. Keep still, well, keep your back straight some. Right, let's have a look. Not many really, to be fair, in that. Oh dear, looks like somebody's been in and stolen my potatoes. These are phantom plants, nothing here. Let's just bend down. They really do break up the soil or the potatoes. I'll try this. Up to press, I've got 3, which isn't very good, and certainly wasn't worth putting your back out for. These are the Cara, I believe. I've got a few more here. Quite a decent size and quite clean as well. So pleased about that. I was a little bit worried. I'd left them in. As you can see, this one here has been eaten. But getting some decent sizes here. Right. I continued the other day getting the horse manure for the beds, so I've continued tidying up. I've managed to clean off and manure the bed that the runner beans were in, so that's another one put to bed. Well, I'll tell you something, it's been quite a poor show up to press. This is the 4th one. Watch the back, son, watch the back. I mean, the potatoes that are here are decent, but the yield is not that clever. Well, I'll bring you in closer to have a look at those, but not very many at all. I think that was, by the looks of it, was that 3? Yeah, it looked like 3 plants. And not a lot to show. But that will feed us on the old dinner table later on today. Right, let's go get one of these cabbage out. It's a little bit blowy today, so hope this doesn't land on my head. There we go. Now what I'm thinking is, this was the one that looked a little bit rotten. But I think if I strip this back, it should be okay. If you have a look at that, I think it's just where water's been sat. But by the time you take all the outer leaves off and peel that right back, you'll find that that just disappears. I certainly couldn't have taken it home like that and presented that to the wife, because it would have been straight in the bin. So next time she sees this, it'll be on a plate, so she won't know. But as you can see, that's just, let's have a look, see if I can get that off more. Get that down. There we go, look. Once you get that off, and get that washed, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a belter. So that can go with the potatoes. I think I'll take some kale as well. Not too much of this now, because it can certainly act as a bit of a laxative, which I found out, I don't know if I told you, I took some home intending it to be for everybody, and as you know, when you cook this kale, it really boils down to nothing in size, and the wife decided to put it all on my plate. And let's put it this way, I couldn't go to work next day. So if you've got an issue with your stomach, constipation, that's the ticket. Right, less of that. Let's not go any further with that one. On the whole, I'm quite pleased with how the cabbage have gone on this year. I've got some quite big football sized ones, like just over here, but then I've also got some smaller ones just over there, so they'll be able to sit, and all I'll do is I'll just strip all the loose leaves off and just leave them sat there as balls, and just take them as and when I need them. But as you can see, that one there is really good, and this one looks nice as well. So yeah, quite pleased overall with how the cabbage has done this year. And also the purple cabbage over there, they're crackers. I've got to get in amongst the sprouts, because, oh dear, we've gone blurred. What's happened there? That's better. Don't know what happened there. Yeah, as you can see, there's quite a lot of foliage on there. The sprouts are buttoning up can see them in there, but they'll certainly be a lot better if I can get some of those bottom leaves off. So I think that's something I'm going to do. But let's go get a couple of leeks out first. So what I'm going to do is take a few leeks home. But I need to start and get these out because some of them are starting to bolt. But I'm just going to take 3 up for now. And as you remember, I did some in the tubes and some just normal. This one here's one of the ones in the tube, so I'll take this one. Let's just get... let's see if I can knock all this off. Bit shake. That's it. There's one. Let's just peel some of this back. It's started to actually split, so I don't think this is going to be any cop, to be fair. Well, it might be up to around here, but then it started to look as though it was going to bolt. I may have left these too late, but I need to get them harvested ASAP. So let's try one that I didn't put in. Might as well have this one, it's nearest to us. Knock that off. See, there you go. Only sort of getting that amount there really, up to where my fingers are. So I think the tubes are right, but I think what I need to do next time is I probably need to harvest them a little bit earlier. But that'll go in the pot. And I know that there's no nasty chemicals or anything like that that they've been sprayed with, so you can eat with confidence. Right, there we go. Not a big one, but it'll do for me and the wife. Let's have a look for one more, eh? I'll go for this one here. Up we go. Came out quite easy, that one. Again, quite a bit of rust forming on them. So again, needs to be harvested, chopped up and put in the freezer. It's been quite a nice day today. Been taking the rents again, and we'll be doing that all the way through the October. I think the last day is going to be on the 26th. And if you haven't paid by then, you won't be able to get in, because the code on the gate gets changed. As people pay on their receipt, we write down the new code, and when it comes into action. Right, I think what I need to do now is see what these carrots are like. I told you, didn't I, that I bit into one the other week, and they were very, very sort of woody. So let's go over there and see what they're looking like. It's nice to come in and do a little bit of harvesting. It breaks up, you know, all the manure collecting and the, let me get my fork, the manure collecting and the weeding, just breaks it up. So that's what I try to do, is just change the jobs. Let's have a look in here, see what these are like. Now, not very big, but I'm sure if that was just a one-off, then these should be fine for the plate. If not, I have got another bed down at the bottom where I know those taste really nice. So let's have a look down here. Let's have a look. Anything else here? Here we go, look. Right. My wife always wonders why my clothes are always absolutely filthy. Let's have a bite. Actually, not free bad. So, there's the carrots to go with the leeks, the kale, the cabbage and the potatoes. I'll just turn this off while I finish eating. Right, my favourite veg of all. Save the best till last, and that's the parsnips. Now, I'm here again, that same dilemma. Can't remember which I did first. I think it were these. There's a label here. What does this say? Ah, it actually says parsnips first. So, right, let's have a look. You know, I don't fail with these. I just don't know. I just don't fail. I mean, look at that. It's an absolute beauty. I know it's not a showpiece. What I tend to do as well is when the leaves get a bit messy, I just chop the leaves down. But that's a beauty. But that's not going to be enough for my plate. As I've said before, I absolutely love the old parsnips. So, let me see if I can go for another one. Ah, this one's not as good. I spoke too soon. More like a turnip is that one. Right, wife can have that. Let's have a feel around. I can't actually see them. What's happened here? Look at that. That's a smaller one. And let's try this one here. I think this one's a bit of a round one as well. Bloody heck, these are heavy. Well, I'm not well and truly in. Well, there we go. We've got a couple of aliens there. We've got 3 for the price of 1. So, yes, the forks. And I think, as I told you before, I did get a little bit mixed up when I was transferring the soil, because some of the soil was perfect. It was just sand and topsoil that I'd put in there. So, but they'll do. You know, once you get them home, get those home, get them cleaned up, they'll do great around the roast beef. Right, let's add those to the hamper. Now, I don't think there was enough potatoes there, but luckily enough, I've still got a bag of potatoes here. So, I can use those bigger ones for the mashed potatoes, but I can boil up some of these new potatoes. Let's see what we can get out of here. Bit of a small barrow here, aren't I, really? See, this is what I'm saying, this compost is still really good. Let me just go get a little tray. There we go, that'll do. So how's everything with your gardens and allotments? As I say, I'm just steady away, working my way up to the top, and in a few weeks' time, I'm sure I'm going to get there. Yeah, this compost won't be getting wasted. This will go either back on the beds or into the compost heap as browns. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah. Not three bad, these. Not three bad. I see that Danny over at the Grow channel has joined forces with Potty Mouth team. And Jane as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting combo. I think that should be quite good fun. So I'm looking forward to that. What are your favourite YouTube channels? Oh, my mic's stuck onto the wheelbarrow handle. What are your favourite YouTube channels? Let me know in the comments, because, you know, I like to watch quite a few channels. I've just started looking at one. I think it's called Chris Learns. I've just started to look at that. He's just taken over his plot and he's just started his channel. So if I'll leave the name of his channel in the description box below, and bob over, have a good look and give him a follow. Everybody needs help in this YouTube game. I don't, for one, begin to know whether I understand it. Sometimes I'll put a video together and I'll think, whoa, I'm really pleased about that. I'm pleased with that one. I think that's quite interesting, quite novel. And lo and behold, I get those dreaded messages. Fewer subscribers are wishing to watch this. And I'm like, how does it work? That algorithm. I mean, I don't even know what algorithm stands for. But I don't pay too much garm to what YouTube flies at me. You know, I do it for the fun, firstly. Secondly, it's a great way to document what I've done, because as you get older and you hit that 60 mark, the old grey matter isn't as effective and retentive as it used to be. So it's a great memoir for you to look back on. Mal, should have got a bigger barrow. You're gonna need a bigger barrow. Right guys, leave me with this. I don't want you boring, but as you can see, oh, I'm stuck again. Get off there. I need to take that magnet off. As you can see, that's not too bad. I'll clear them out. I'll show you. There we go. Run them under tap. I think they'll be really nice with lashings of butter. Right. I think that's all of the potatoes out of there. Now, rather than waste this compost, I've filled these raised beds, well, topped them with manure. So I'm going to put this on the top of that manure. Keep an eye out for any. Alright, bend your back, Mal. What's you saying here? Move out way. That's it. Keep an eye out for any potatoes. Oh, The mic's come off again. Why? Moral of the story. Don't go near metal when you've got a mic on with a magnet. Right, I'll just drop that way up. There's one, look. Any more? Any more for any more? Done it again. There's another one. Right, tip that in. There we go. So nothing gets wasted. Nothing at all. It'll all go back in here. I'll probably top this up as well with some, when it sinks down a little bit, with some fresh new stuff. But no point throwing it, it'll condition the soil. Right, I'll show you the final harvest and then we'll go for a wander. So here we go. Sunday dinner, carrots, kale, parsnips, potatoes, cabbage and new potatoes. Absolutely splendid. Oh yes, not forgetting the leeks. Right, let's go for a wander. But before we do, over here, where this crate is, I think that we have got a rat's nest. I'm not going too close because I don't, you know me and rats. But as you can see, I'll zoom in. Just behind that green sign, there's all sorts of bits of sweet corn that are there. And also, look up at the top there, just above the sign, I'll zoom in. Look at that. Now I think down there, underneath that crate, is where they're living. Now, oops, sorry. Now I ain't entertaining my compost base until it's sorted. And I won't be doing that. If we're looking here, and I'm looking up tentatively, you can see there's a hole from underneath that crate coming there. And then if we go across here, there's a hole there going in to the compost bay. So I am going to need Mick and Martin on that before I start and use my bay. They're nesting underneath that one there that's full. I don't know what you do. What do you do? Comments. Any answers in the comments below, please. You've got them in there. What do you do? How do you get them out? Oh, never mind. That's not for me. Right, let's go for a wander. Right. Over the gate we go. And we're going to head down this way. But before we do, where my van is a car park. And on there we can probably get one, with my van, maybe another 3 cars at a push. So we struggle quite a bit with parking spaces. So if, oh, a little pussycat over there, if Margaret comes down off this plot and there's no space for her there, there is a small one at the top which fits 2 cars in, but that's often full as well. If she comes down and both those are full, then she has to leave it right up at the top. So one of the things that we're looking to do is to increase a little bit of parking spaces. It's amazing what people can make use of. Look at this here. It's absolutely made up of doors, windows, you name it. But with a decent cover over the top. Look at that. They're getting some lovely produce. So you don't have to go out and buy these big, massive, expensive greenhouses. You can do a mend if you need to. There's a fruit cage here. And it's really good, is this one. He's made it out of plastic mesh, which is a lot better in the snow. You know, the snow can get straight through it. There's quite a few plots that need a lot of work doing to them. This is somebody's, but it doesn't seem as though they've done anything. In fact, if I remember right, there was a raised bed there. It's no longer there. Oh well. This here is somebody's plot, I believe, but until we finish checking the rents, I'm not going to get a clear picture of what's available. But this here is absolutely full of mare's tail. If you can see that there, it's absolutely riddled with it. Now I'm told that that can go up to 4 meters down. It's a real struggle to get rid of it. So if anybody's got any methods of dealing with that, if you can let us know. But I'm unsure whether this plot is available. If it is available, then I think I've got an idea for that. Right, so this here used to be a car park, and you can see where the road planings were, but over the years it's just got wood chip piled on it, and then that wood chip's gone down into the ground and grass has grown. So what we're going to look to do is try and clear all this, get it trimmed down, literally trim it to the bone, get it covered, and then we'll be looking at probably 20 tonne of road scalpings and recreate this as a car park. But also the intentions of the old committee a couple of years ago was to do the same here. As you can see there, there's a plot fence just there, and they were going to make this a car park so people could park on it diagonally. And there was absolutely loads of rubble tipped on here, ready for that work to be done, and it just got left, and it's turned out like this. So this has become a bit of a priority, really. So we're gonna have to look to see if we can tackle this. It is something that, if we could get this back and create a car park, then I think we'd be well and truly sorted. It might be that we create the car park on here, and that corner actually could be for the manure and the wood chip. Yeah, that's probably better. But there is loads and loads of rubble on here, because a request went out from the committee to people: if you've got rubble hardcore, bring it down. So underneath all that, there's rubble. That's got to be a tractor job, that. As you can see, there's loads of rubble there. So yeah, hell of a task. So we just walked up the middle part, just had a chat with one of the plot holders there. This here is the hut, like our meeting hut, and it's been up years and years and years, and it's still dry inside, but I do think we need to be looking at, you know, getting it replaced. It'll do for now, but I think if this has been up now, talking to Norman I think Norman were involved in the building of it. I think it's been up a good 30 odd years. So I'm told that the floor underneath's rotten. So yeah, so we're thinking of, we've got stores here which keep getting broken into. They used to have windows in. And we're thinking maybe getting some windows in there, repairing the roof, and then opening that back up as the meeting room, leaving it open so that people realise there's nothing in there, and it stops getting broken into. And then maybe clearing this and creating a gravelled area where we could create sort of like an event space, and we could get ourselves a marquee so when we did the show we could do that down here. We've also got a container right up at the very top there, as you can see. But there's loads to do. But as I keep saying, slow and steady wins the race. Right, I'm going to head up to the top and join in with collecting the rents. I'd like to thank everybody who've tuned in today and tuned in the past. Thank you very much for your comments, your likes and your subscriptions. If you're watching and you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, it'd be really appreciated. But until next week, everybody take care and happy growing.